You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
It's time for the DragonCon Report, your go-to show for both newbies and seasoned pros gearing up for the annual Downtown Atlanta Convention, with interviews, expert advice, and all the latest updates straight from the dragon's mouth and fans themselves. Stay tuned, you might just uncover something unexpected.
Howdy, and welcome to the 6th episode of the 2025 DragonCon Report. We're about 2 months away from DragonCon 2025. Oh my goodness, saying that out loud just puts me in fear, all kinds of fear. I'm almost paralyzed. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and I'm pleased to introduce you to the rest of our station crew, starting, of course, with Jen.
Hello, everybody.
You're looking very Trekkish today.
Indeed, indeed.
Final Frontierish, yes. We also have, is Channing with us?
We'll see. Can he hear us?
Is Channing in the room? Yes.
Channing is here, and he can hear us.
Yes. It's
awesome.
Everything was working fine right before we hit record. Yes, I'm here, and in honor of Trek, I'm wearing my red shirt, so maybe I jinxed myself. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll see if I make it through the episode.
Okay. Well, we will be pleased to be joined by Joe Campbell, who, aka the emissary from the Trek Track, later on in the show. The DragonCon Report is an unofficial podcast of the con. We are not and never have been officially connected with DragonCon. For all the official news, we strongly recommend checking out the official site and social media outlets. Have they done a town hall meeting in a while? I don't think so.
No.
No, they haven't.
It seems like that's going to start up pretty soon. It feels like that should be happening. We're a proud member of the ESO Network. On the ESOnetwork.com page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag, including a very cool design for the DragonCon Report podcast. The ESO Network also has a Patreon page where supporters can access our exclusive readings of this month's DragonCon guest announcements, of which there were many. Big names. Big names. Thank you, patrons, for all your support. In addition to the video stream on Facebook or YouTube, and you're watching us right now, thank you very much. The audio version of our show is still available via all the usual places, and you can always access all our past episodes over the last 13, 14 years at dragonconreport.com. However you access our show, please like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave us direct feedback or comment on the show. Please feel free to email us at feedback@dragonconreport.com or reach out to us via Facebook or Instagram. We are available on those social media outlets as well. Now it's time for some news and notes. And the prices went up, everybody. DragonCon, which is happening August 28th through September 1st, of course. The 5-day memberships went up on 6/14 last month, or a couple weeks ago, actually. And they are $175 now. $175, still a bargain. And they will probably go up at least one more time before con. Look for that probably at the beginning of August when they put out or release single day memberships. So we'll have more on that when we get it, but right now we don't have that specific information. So right now, don't take the chance, man. Just get them now. $175.
Yeah, it's not getting any cheaper.
No. And as far as guest applications, band applications, fan club applications, all those applications are now closed. So if you want to be part of the con, there's still chances that you can do it, but get your membership because that'll ensure that you can be there with a badge.
Exactly. And coming from the DragonCon Disability Services, we've got an update. We're excited to announce that the primary location of the DragonCon Disability Services Department is moving. As you may have noticed, DCDS has outgrown the space we previously held in the Cortland Grand Lobby, so we will now occupy our own dedicated space just a few feet away in the southern section of the Capitol Ballroom. The space will be easily accessible down the Atlanta hallway on the opposite side of the lobby from our previous location. If this sounds confusing, yes it does, don't worry, we will have plenty of signage to help you find your way. The same services you've experienced will still be provided, just in a new, larger space to continue to improve the overall disability services experience at DragonCon. If you have any questions about this or anything else, feel free to reach out to the Disability Services Department. I'm glad they're getting some more space. They're doing the Lord's work. They're helping people out. So good on them.
Indeed. Calling all DragonCon volunteers, the DragonCon Highland Life South Blood Drive is looking for passionate, friendly, and fun folks to help run the largest fan-run blood drive in the country. Volunteer roles currently available are in the thank you room to greet and care for donors post-donation. That one's almost full, so grab your spot soon. Recruiters to walk the hotels and con floors, encouraging people to donate. This position is in high demand. They need lots of people. P-line entertainers, new this year for magic, cosplay, music, puppetry, and improv. Anything to make waiting fun. As volunteer perks, you get a free exclusive blood drive t-shirt with 5+ hours volunteering, tons of ribbons and a custom pin, and the chance to win one of 3 free rooms at a host hotel for next year. And one of last year's blood drive volunteers did win. There's lots of different links for the positions, so go look at the blood drive Facebook group and you'll be able to volunteer for the area you want to. Their donation sign up will be coming in mid-July. If you've donated before, you will get an email reminder when it opens.
And they released the t-shirt for the donators this year, and it is awesome looking. So if you need added incentive to help people out by donating blood, check out the Facebook group and you can see there the t-shirt design. It's really cool. And speaking of other cool stuff, they released some other cool, fun treats for fans who are at least 21 years or older for this year's DragonCon. They've teamed up with Monk's Meadery, Atlanta Distillery, and Old Fourth Distillery to offer some exclusive adult beverages. With Monk's Meadery, they've got Dragon's Nectar. They've got a pre-sale deal on that with Meg's Mashables, so you can get some cool swag, some stuffed animals, as well as some cool drinks. With Atlanta Distillery, it's a particular kind of vodka, and Old Fourth Distillery, it's a straight bourbon whiskey.
And I ordered my bottle of bourbon the day, well, within the first hour that link went live.
I was going to say, did you guys see the bottle art on these things?
No, the bourbon is stunning.
The bourbon whiskey bottle looks badass. I mean, it looks pretty cool.
It does.
I'm just glad I'm in one of the states that they'll ship to. So.
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes. It's worth the shipping. The shipping's pricey, but it's worth it.
Very cool.
All right, so let's talk music. DragonCon's Fandom Music Awards are back. Mix, edit, and make magic in one of our 7 categories. This is a video editing competition where participants create music videos featuring their favorite fandoms and media, including but not limited to live-action movies and shows, cartoons and comics, anime and manga, video games, and cosplay. Our judges will select the finalists, but the audience picks the winners. Categories include adrenaline, tribute, shipping, suspense, upbeat, drama, and horror. For more details, you can go to amvawards.org, also on the screen. I was trying to help our listeners. We'll have it in the show notes for our listeners. Submissions will be accepted until July 31st, so don't waste time. Show us what you got.
Our Lots of Tracks are still looking for volunteers and panelists, so that's what these next announcements are about. DragonCon Silk Road Track. Their panel submission form is open. This is a form to suggest a panel that you would like to present yourself at DragonCon 2025 on the Silk Road Track. From the Brit Track, want to be a panelist for the 2025 show with the Brit Track? Come check out their panel, sneak a peek, and apply by July 5th. Note, if you're an attending pro, there is a separate email to contact, and there is a Google Doc form to fill out for regular panelists. You can find that in the Brit Track group. Over at the American Sci-Fi Classics Track, have you ever said to yourself, Bort, I'd like to appear on a Classics Track panel? Well, now you can. We've achieved great success with our First Timers Club last year, and most of them have graduated to second timers already. When, not if. If you'd like to be on a Classics Track panel live at DragonCon, note your interest in the comment thread on that post in the DragonCon American Sci-Fi Classics Track Facebook group. And over at the DragonCon Theater Lovers, their panelists at Con form is now live. You got to fill it out nope, it's already passed. Mike
It's
put
already
me
passed.
notes
Ah.
that have already expired.
Oh man, my bad.
Well, the form had to be filled out no later than Friday, the June 20th, but you might they might still have some room. If so, head over to the DragonCon Theater Lovers group, and don't forget they are not an official track; they're an unofficial fan community. We are working with official tracks to facilitate theater programming. Therefore, they are limited to the scopes of each track's programming.
Missed it by that much.
That much.
Only a couple days. But and those are just the ones we know about. Like, if you are still interested in participating in any track, please reach out to them on their Facebook or social medias and reach out to them, because those are only the ones that we know about. I'm sure all tracks are still looking for folks as well to participate. So
same thing for volunteers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's been a ton of guest announcements. Cast members from Star Trek, Arrow, Ghost Hunters, Once Upon a Time, Psych, and so many more have been announced. So a detailed list will be available by us via the ESO Patreon. So.
Or you can go to the guest page on dragoncon.org.
I mean, you can, but what fun is that? I mean,
fun in that.
You can't drink to a list online.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but it's not as fun. Yeah.
That's just sad.
That's just sad. Yeah.
So, all right. So that's it for news and notes, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and beam aboard Joe Campbell.
And back in 3, 2, 1.
All right, now and joining us from the Trek track. I wish we had an effect on the StreamYard where we could just beam him in and do the audio and make that effect. But no, Joe Campbell is here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe.
No, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, absolutely.
I want to start with your experience at DragonCon or with DragonCon. Do you recall your first DragonCon? What was that like for you?
My first DragonCon was the first DragonCon.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm been with the con ever from the beginning, and it was like nothing else. It wasn't big, but it was a really nice fan run con. Mm-hmm. I'm originally from New York, and it felt like home. And certain people asked me to do the con suite, and I said no, I don't want to do it. And many years later, I got roped into running the con suite, and I ran that for 27 years.
Goodness. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And after that, I found my way to Trek, my second love. So yeah, and I haven't missed one convention, one DragonCon.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, as I've mentioned many times on this show, my first one was in '94, and I haven't missed one since. But you go back more than that, so you've seen DragonCon through all the growth and everything that's happened. So right from the beginning. And when you went there in the beginning, you were an attendee, you weren't a participant, right? You weren't I
was a volunteer.
You were a volunteer. You volunteered right from the beginning.
Wow. Right from the beginning. Yeah. I got roped in.
And you probably had no idea that this would become what it has become.
I had feelings. I saw the potential.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to grow. The other convention at that time was Fantasy Fair. And it was slowly dying. And also Dixie Track was still around. And that was slowly dying. And I originally came to Atlanta to come to Worldcon.
Oh yeah, because that was part of it, right? They were linked?
No, they weren't linked at that time. But because the way I felt, and that DragonCon came out of the ashes of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And but I was here for NASFIC when DragonCon ran NASFIC.
Mm-hmm.
and that was the beginning when it started growing and growing and growing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Any special memories that you have from those early years that really cemented how much Dragon Con, how different it was for you?
Wow.
Was there I mean, we always like to point out that most of the time with Dragon Con, the thing about it is that you're among friends, you're among your tribe, you're among people, that you will become lifelong friends with. Was that the case right from the beginning?
Yes. When I was running the con suite, my staff stayed with me for 20 years. Most of them stayed for 20 years, and they were my family, and they are still my family. And I have so many memories, so many bizarre things happening and great things. Wow.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, from running the con suite from all that time, you must have some stories.
Oh yes, I do, but we we can't really tell those stories here because
I see.
Well, I imagine con suite in the early days was kind of like the Wild West.
It was the Wild West. To keep the drunkards down, I told them if they misbehave, I would force feed some spam.
Ooh.
And out of that, we started having a spam eating contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a crime against nature.
I feel like there was probably fireworks after that.
No. We used to have a smoking room in the con suite, and it was toxic.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And still to this day, every year I would lose my voice by, I think, Saturday. By Saturday, I would not have a voice.
Okay, you still lose your voice because when I run into you on Saturdays, you're still losing your voice.
Yeah, I think it's the air in the hotel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I fly, I start losing my voice.
Well, because I mean, Trek Track is in the, as everybody lovingly calls, the basement of the Hilton, or as I like to say, where all the AC is. So when you're overheated, that is the place to go to.
Yes. Bring your
Trek Track has evolved as well, and it has moved different locations, different hotels. I know from my experience, both going there and going to. I don't think have I been on a Trek Track panel? I think I actually have in the past.
Yeah.
So, but that's been I mean, there's always good vibes there.
Yeah, I love the new location, or the location we're at now at the Hilton. It's perfect. When we were at the Merchandise Mart, that was awful.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And then and I think I remember going to some panels in the Sheridan, formerly the Sheridan, right?
It's the Sheridan.
So it was there for a little while as well, but
and they still host the Miss Star Trek Universe pageant.
Gotcha.
There as well.
Gotcha. Because they used to have their bigger panels there, like with Star Trek, when the Star Trek guest. Because that's the beauty of Dragon Con too, is that almost every year Trek guests are just a given. That there's always going to be a pretty good range of Trek guests from the original series. This year we have William Shatner coming back, as well as from the newer shows as well.
Yeah.
So it's a huge range. So it must be kind of challenging deciding on the programming as Trek has expanded and evolved over the years.
Yeah, well, this year is a great year for Trek because it's the 30th anniversary for Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's why we have a lot of the Voyager cast coming in.
Nice.
Robert Duncan McNeil, Garrett, of course.
Yeah.
Tim Russ and Robert Picardo. And that's, and Robert Picardo, he can go to Stargate and Orville.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Tim Russ, I'm hoping when we got the news about Spaceballs, I really hope that he's going to be in Spaceballs.
Well, I think that I just read an article the other day. Like I saw one where he had told somebody, "Well, I hope I'm in it," and then I saw another article the next day where they confirmed, yes, he's been offered a role. So,
that's gonna be great.
Hopefully that's true.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making a very large Afro pick so he can
Just
get
carry
him
it
to sign
around.
it.
So let's go back a little bit. You said that, you got involved with the Trek track because Trek has been a love of yours for most of your life. Tell us about that journey. When did Star Trek become something for you to embrace?
Wow. Okay. I've been a Trek fan since day one, since the show started. I was only 6 years old at the time. My sister took me to a convention in New York, in Manhattan, and dropped me off. And left
back
me
when
there.
you could do that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Wait, but when you were dropped you off when you were 6?
No, when I was 10.
Okay.
Oh,
When I
just a
was
little, just 10.
No, hey,
10.
back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it was completely normal for us to be dropped off at 10 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a family. They treated me like one of theirs. They showed me the ropes and they protected me. They made sure I was okay. And I've been doing Trek all my life. Even I'm going to grade school wearing a little Star Trek uniform underneath my clothes.
Nice.
I think there's a video of me out there from WPIX. They were doing they were announcing the Wrath of Khan, and they were at a convention and they were panning through the audience, and there I was, in my cowboy phase at the time. But look for it. You can,
Do you
All right,
have a
internet
I'm gonna try and find that and put it in our show notes for everybody else.
Yeah.
Internet sleuths, get on it.
Do you have a particularly special Star Trek geek out moment?
Yes, throwing a little room party at Dixie Trek, and it was quiet. Nobody was showing up. We were getting ready to shut down, and Jimmy Doohan walks in.
Oh.
Yeah, and we were throwing a Hawaiian luau party, and we're giving leis to everybody. And Jimmy Doohan looks at me after I handed him the lei. It's like, you know what you just did. Yeah, so I'm not going to say it now because
it's a family show.
It's a family show, yes. But
we're
yes,
PG-13. Come on.
but Jimmy Doohan is one of my favorite guests because he would sit with you, he would talk with you, he would drink with you. George Takei is also a wonderful, wonderful person. Yeah. Oh man. And
I've always
seeing
felt
Michelle,
like, go ahead.
I'm seeing Michelle Nichols, and oh man, just talking to her for a while, and we just, we lost a really good person then when she passed.
The and Dragon Con's been like I said, really good about. I don't know if there are not very many Star Trek actors, main actors that have not come to Dragon Con at some point. Right. I know that I've got a chance to meet all of the captains. I've got a chance to meet many of the cast members, and almost every single one of them was a delightful experience.
Well, I think that next to the actual big Star Trek conventions, like the one in Vegas or the cruise one, right. Dragon Con has the biggest offering for Trek fans.
Yes.
And the fans can get up and close.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not a big wall in between the fans and the actors. And you can actually talk to them. You can actually get an autograph at a decent price. And,
it's not creation.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to
can,
sell a kidney. That's always a plus.
yeah. I remember seeing Ethan Peck at the Hilton bar. This is during Discovery. So not that many people knew that he was Spock. And he's just sitting there, having an adult beverage. And me and a couple of guys from the Trek track said, hey, you might want to pop downstairs and take a look at our room. And he went down and we took some photos with him. Nice. And he was just the nicest person. The nicest person. And
wait, so y'all did that and he didn't think he was about to be kidnapped?
No, yeah.
If I'm sitting at a bar and somebody tells me that, I'm gonna rethink some things.
Yeah, come see my room downstairs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Worst pickup line ever.
Last year, we're at the bar, go figure, and there's the cast of Lower Deck. And that was amazing. It's like, wow, okay, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to buy them a drink.
Well, but yeah, I know Tawny had a blast at DragonCon last year.
That's what I heard.
You can't do that at Creation Cons. Yeah. You can't do that at like Trek Long Island. You can't do that. The guests don't walk around. But I know someone's going to say yes, they do. But
but it's not the same. We're in hotels with lots of lobby bars, lots of common areas. There's a lot more opportunities to randomly run across somebody with the way DragonCon is set up.
Yeah,
and it's very to me as a Trek fan, it's very reassuring when the people that are involved behind the scenes with Star Trek, because it's not just the cast. I've met writers and people who worked on the show as well. And, all of them are professionals. All of them have been, they know how to do their job, and it is a job, but it's also more than that. It just feels like, when you sign on to do Star Trek, it's something different. It's something most of them are aware of that. And most of them have, sometimes it takes a little while, but most of them embrace it after a while, right?
Yeah. You're joining kind of this elite club, if you really stop and think about it. And plus, I've always kind of felt that Star Trek was kind of one of the first fandoms that became a community, that became a family, if that makes sense. There were a lot of other popular sci-fi shows out there, but I feel like Star Trek was really where it kind of became, oh no, we're not just regular fans. No, we're a community. We're a family.
Well, then there's a reason there's so many parody movies and TV show episodes because of how much the Trek fandom has grown.
Yeah. And it makes you think. It makes you want to be a better person. That's what I got from Star Trek. It's like, use your head, before you use your fist. Talk it through first. Everyone has a seat at the table.
Yeah,
and that's what I get from Star Trek.
And I have to say too, I think you guys do a great job in your programming to extend that even to the Trek track at DragonCon. Like the programming that you guys offer is very inclusive, is very open, is stimulating, and even the fan run ones, as opposed to just the guests, right? It's always exciting to see the guests talk and people talk about behind the scenes things, but even the fan run ones are full of discussion that I don't think the other shows really inspire as much.
Well, I have to say, but the panels I've been to on the Trek track are some of the most interactive and gut busting that I've ever gotten.
I don't want to make it sound like it's all intellectual and no fun, because you guys know how to party.
No, I'll just say the Riker Games is possibly one of the best panels I've ever sat through at DragonCon. And now that we have you here, I think you're a much better individual to describe Both the
Yeah.
Riker Games and the other sorts of panels and events on the Trek track that people can expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
For those people who don't know.
Yeah, we have, of course, Riker Games. We have the Away Team Scavenger Hunt. That's, I believe, on Saturday. No, is that on Saturday? I think it's on Saturday. Oh, no, Friday. Friday. Then we have the Miss Universe pageant on Sunday. And let me see here. And we have a new thing that started last year, Subspace Rhapsody. It's like, if you remember the episode, the singing episode, where we
Right.
have a live cast that actually sings it, acts it out.
Nice.
And it's amazing. And it's like Star Trek meets Rocky Horror.
I know it was a really
And-
special moment that a lot of the cast members that participated in that episode on Strange New Worlds were there at Dragon Con and actually attended the Subspace Rhapsody performance last year. So that's special.
Mhm.
That's special when that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
Probably a little nerve-wracking for the performers.
Yeah. I'll ask everyone, I'll tell everyone, please show up for that, because it's truly amazing and it's one of a kind. So,
Well, and
yeah.
the room hit capacity last year.
Yes, yes.
So it was from the debut a must-attend event.
Yeah,
at the
but
for Trek Track.
But to Jen's point, I'm really curious. How did the Riker Games start? Like, what went into getting the Riker Games going at Dragon Con?
That's wow. I just got roped in. It's like, hey, they need someone to help her out, help the MC out. I was like, yeah, what? Okay, why not? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go up there and I'll just act out, which I do, and he just grew and grew and grew. Now we're in a bigger room, and and I'm almost done with the awards because I make all the awards for that.
Well, and you make pretty much all the room decorations.
Pretty much. I've actually started asking people to hang stuff because I'm getting tired, and this cargo bay that I work out of is getting packed. I'm running out of room.
So for those people who don't know, what can one expect if they go to the Riker Games? What are the Riker Games?
Wow, the Riker Games, basically, we have several individuals to compete. Basically, dexterity to see if they can actually maneuver around a chair, show cunning, show wit, swagger, and then they battle it out.
And I have to ask, because I know he's been there a few times, has Jonathan Frakes ever participated in Riker Games?
We really wanted him to be there last year, but I think he had a prior engagement, so we had to leave. But we got him to sign the awards.
Okay, cool.
So, so I was hoping
the
that he
Riker
would make
Games
it
are
this
fully
year.
endorsed by Jonathan Frakes.
Yes. I think it's endorsed by Thomas Riker, not Will Riker.
That's how they get you.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a nerd drop. Good job.
I like it though.
The main award is the Riker, is the Will. The second place is the Tommy. And if we ever do a third place, it will be the little Will Wheaton.
Well, very exciting. All right, is there anything that new that you're? I don't know if you want to spoil it, but are you working on anything new for programming this year?
Well, I don't do the programming. That's Leo. And,
okay.
I just decorate and act out.
And he's the showman.
He's the showman. He's the face.
Yeah,
the face. Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
He's the face. Yeah. So Joe, I got to put you on the spot here. You can't talk to a Star Trek person without asking, who's your favorite captain?
Ooh.
Wow. My favorite captain. Okay, my favorite captain is T.J. Esteban, captain of the USS Grissom.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Not a traditional choice. I respect it.
Why? Because he didn't want to take chances. That's about it. And yes, he did die, but yet listen to TJ.
All right, who's your favorite number 2?
My favorite number 2. Wow. All right, my favorite number 2 has to go to Kira Nerys.
Nice.
Yeah, Kira's up there for me too.
Yeah.
Okay, solid picks.
Yeah. My favorite engineer is O'Brien.
Oh, well, that goes without saying.
Then Trip Tucker.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Good old Southern boy, My God, I've been in Georgia so long, I'm now Southern.
It happens. It happens.
I now have cravings for catfish.
That's just a sign of good taste. I'm sorry. Yeah.
My favorite doctor. Wow. It's not the EMH. I'm sorry.
Robert Picardo's going to be here,
Yeah. I know. I liked him in China Beach as a doctor.
Oh, deep cut. Yeah.
Deep cut. My favorite doctor is Nurse Ogawa. Okay. Deep dives.
Yeah, you're going for some deep cuts there.
I like it. That's the sign of a true fan. I like it.
It is. Absolutely it is.
Let's jump back to the decorations you make. I've talked to you a little bit about it in the past, but for those who haven't been down to the Trek room, there really is. There's art pieces, there's emblems, there's blown up as in larger scale badges all over the wall, all over the room. What are you using to make these? Is it a laser printer? Is it a 3D printer? Are you designing yourself in a program, then printing?
Black magic.
We don't call it black magic anymore.
It's just magic.
It's just magic.
Magic. After the whole 1960s thing, we call it urban magic.
Urban magic. I like that.
All right. Wow. Right now, I'm getting out of my metal phase.
Okay.
So pretty much everything I make is in metal. Rock on. If you can see behind me, several of those pieces are made out of metal, and I've added 3D printed items to it. For a while there, I was in a cloth phase, so I was die subbing a lot of stuff. Professionally, I'm a sign maker and a brander. And that's what I do for a living, and I have been for my entire adult life. And if I get something in my head, like if I see the Prodigy logo, it's like, wow, I really want to make that large. So I will either 3D print it or use a CNC and cut it out of metal, then bend it in shape. So yeah, my favorite piece.
Seems like you're making something almost every week.
Every day I'm making something. Right now, behind me, I'm working on a 2-foot wide Voyager.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and for Dragon, the little Trek group that I am part of, the USS Terminus, we're thinking about either building a transporter or doing pop-up banners for this year. And if we do pop-up banners, it'll be the main cast of Voyager, and we'll just do like bios of each person, because it's getting hard and I'm running out of space, for all these big heavy metal signs.
Well, I was gonna say, where are you gonna put a transporter?
Right.
Yeah, we were thinking about that. I was like, yeah, but we can make a transporter. I was like, where are we gonna put it? My wife right now, is upset because there's no room in the house.
Now, if you could make a working transporter.
No. I saw the movie The Fly, so I will never I will never make a transporter.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's another transition for you, and this can get into some additional lore of the Trek track.
Oh.
Because Caro Tidwell says, "So Joe, how does it feel to be an annex of the Brit track at DragonCon?"
Director of the Brit Tracks commenting.
Yes. Well,
Because there's some history between the Trek track and Brit track.
well, I am a member of the Maquis, and we will not, stand for being annexed by fake kings and queens. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this something that we need to look into getting the Mongoose involved with?
Yeah.
He will fight on the side of right, I'm sure.
Yes. I mean, all right, I might have to start doing some tagging.
Well, Joe, I wanted to ask you too, because I have seen you at various other conventions locally, and I know that your fandom it runs stronger than more than just Trek, right? You're involved with a lot of different groups as well, right? Or fandoms?
Yes. Wow.
Do you get to do that at DragonCon as well? Participate in other fandoms, or is it just mainly you focus on Trek that weekend?
Both mainly on Trek, but I do run over to the sci-fi military track and hang out there and do a couple of panels with them. I love Stargate. I love Farscape. I love Battlestar. They're wonderful shows. I love Doctor Who. I love what they've been doing.
I know I've seen you at Timegate.
Yes, I wish we had
Kulanta.
I wish we had an Outer Limits track. Okay.
Wouldn't that would kind of be under American Sci-Fi, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but it needs to have its own little, track.
You think it's big? You think it's big enough for its own track?
Well, Outer Limits.
There is multiple iterations of it.
Yeah. Yes. We could do Outer Limits. Twilight Zone.
Amazing Stories.
Yes.
Amazing Stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of great anthology shows like that. Yeah,
and I guess Black Mirror could fit in there too, technically.
Yep, Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, yep.
Yes.
But that also can go into the anime track too, or animation track. But Trek is one of my biggest loves, and I remember once it was at DragonCon, and I'm in my uniform, and so little black boy walked up to me and just smiled, and I kneeled, took off one of my pips, and gave him a pip and told him, "You better be a good little boy."
Oh.
And just the smile on his face, it broke me. And the kid still comes to the con, I believe. So,
wow.
Representation matters.
Yes, it does. It does. That's another reason why I love Trek, because they're people of color, but they're human. They're themselves first, and their ethnicity second. And you don't see that much on most TV shows or movies.
And you certainly didn't in the 60s when Star Trek came out, that's for sure.
Right. Yes. Wow. There's a lot of stories with Michelle and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted to quit, and he reached out to her, told her not to. Because she was portraying someone on the bridge, and she wasn't a servant or the lady of the night, because that's what the only roles at that time people of color can get, women of color. But she had a long career. She was in the TV series The Lieutenant. That was another Gene Roddenberry production. And so everyone look Michelle up in the Lieutenant.
Absolutely.
Great
Joe, would you say in your experience being a Star Trek fan and that particular fandom, have you seen it grow in diversity as well over the years?
Yes, I have. I've seen the good sides and bad sides of it. I've been called out. I've been people yelling at me, making fun, calling me names. But I just shrugged it off. And but now, these couple of years, now decades, I don't see that anymore. But back in the 70s and 80s, definitely in the 80s, and I'm happy about that. It makes me smile because people are now finally getting it, and well, let's hope things keep on going the way it's going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because there was that stigma of, if you were a Star Trek fan, even me growing up, like it was something that only nerds were into, or it was something that it was frowned upon. If you were talking about wearing a Starfleet uniform or a Star Trek shirt underneath your regular clothes, because if you wore that out, like if you just wore a Star Trek shirt out, like you would be pointed at and made fun of. It was a very real thing. And at least those days seem to be behind us, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Just the other day, my little trek group, USS Terminus, we were at the Thinking Man's Tavern, and most of us were in Star Trek uniforms.
Nice.
Just sitting around drinking, talking. And people walking in, and they saw a couple of the members wearing the old classic miniskirts.
Yeah.
And people were loving it. And I'm sitting there dressed up like Benny Russell. I mean, Cisco, sorry. And people like, does he work for a hotel or something?
Well, I definitely, go ahead.
It's definitely changed over the years, and that's one of the things I think when I first went to Dragon Con in the 90s, it was such a refreshing thing because I was finally with people that understood and had the same experiences that I did.
Yeah, that's what I experienced when I was a kid. And then when I came here and started going to Dragon Con, and when Dragon Con started, it had the same feel that you were safe here. You're amongst your tribe.
Yeah.
Yes. And it still has that feeling. Still has everyone is in it together. Most conventions, no. No one looks at you in the face. Everybody's shuffling along, going from panel to panel. Here, you see somebody in the same costume, you can walk up to them and tap them on the shoulder and start talking, and voila, you're now friends.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful feeling. Like some at Creation Cons, people are running back and forth, and no one's talking to each other. And Dragon Con is a unique experience and unique experiment. And I hope other conventions are taking note and learning.
Yeah, and I do feel like Trek in general it's gotten to be more mainstream over the last few years. I mean, you see it popping up more in popular culture, and I think I've seen an increase not only in hardcore fans, but just in casual fans. And that to me is a good thing. You want something like that to grow outside of sci-fi circles.
Well, it helps that we have constant content now.
I was going to say, I mean, we've had constant Star Trek content for a long time now, which has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, Trek has always been in production since the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Right.
One form or another, it's been in production. From the classic series to the cartoons to the movies, then to Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Yes, we had that lean years. Then we had the JJ verse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But now, now we got Trek is back, like the way it was back in the early 80s.
Right. Yeah,
and I
and
just love it.
one series ends and they announce a new one coming down the
Yeah.
pipeline. And it's not a
Yep.
matter of like, yeah, your favorite characters might not have their own main series, but that doesn't mean you won't see them again down the line. I mean, look how we
Yeah.
got Strange New Worlds, just
Mhm.
debuting in episodes of Discovery, and then
Yeah.
they get their own series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
No.
and we already know we've got 2 more seasons of it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But and yeah, it's a bummer that it's going to end, but it's Captain Pike. We know the story has to end.
Oh yeah. Spoilers.
It's kind of like
spoilers.
Titanic. You know how it's got to end. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Continuity be damned. It won't end. They're rewriting history again. No.
Again, yes.
Hey, with Star Trek, that's the thing. Like nothing's off the table. Nothing's off
Right.
the table, right?
Right.
Hey,
that's
but
the
we
thing. That's
only
the way it should be.
like our timelines being messed with just a little bit.
Yeah.
We can only tolerate so much.
that
Yeah,
timeline.
this is not the Flash on CW. Only so
It-
much time travel is allowed.
that time travel is looking like Swiss cheese at this point. But
Yeah.
Joe, I wanted to ask you because you mentioned that you guys got together, dressed up in Star Trek gear. How important is it for you to like do the cosplay, to get the uniforms, to dress up? I mean, I think every time I've seen you, you're not in street clothes. This is the first time I've ever seen you in street clothes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't know that I've ever seen you in street clothes, even when it's Wednesday and you're setting up the room.
No, I'm in regular garb. I normally wear a suit jacket and a vest, and I
Oh,
try
that's
to
right.
dress.
I've seen a vest. Okay. Yes, I've seen a vest. Yeah.
Mhm. One year I did actually dress up as Benny Russell,
Really?
and people were like, "Why are you wearing gold rimmed glasses? Is your hand okay?" It's like, it's in my head.
Too
No.
deep? Too deep a cut?
Too deep.
Yeah, but
deep
the
of a
people that
cut.
got it really appreciated it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I liked the year that you wore the baseball uniform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that was last year.
Yeah.
Last year, and right before the Riker Games, well, Jonathan Frakes was about to leave the convention, and he didn't sign the plaques. So I had to rush to my hotel room, get the plaques, then rush back and get him to sign it. I was wearing the Niners outfit. So I'm standing there, and he's looking at me, and he's getting ready to sign it, and like, Niners. And he signs it. Like, oh. Yeah. Oh man. When I usually go to the Ren Fair, I wear a Starfleet uniform, and I usually carry the phaser rifle that's behind me. And people walk up to me, and I will tell them that, you're a non-playable character. You're not supposed to talk to me.
Or you could just be on an away mission.
No. That's when you die.
Yeah.
Wait, but are you wearing red?
Command. It's actually yellow now.
Plus, wouldn't that violate the Prime Directive? I mean, if you found this primitive society and you just go walking around with your guns.
What's that word you said? What was that you said?
The Prime Directive?
Prime what is that? Is that like a sandwich?
Oh, you're from the Captain Kirk era. Okay. Prime Directive.
Prime. Is that like prime
rib?
Prime, oh, yes, I'll have some of that, please. You only get in trouble if you report it.
Do you have any particular outfits that you're working on, or dream outfits for you that you would like to wear?
I think my last costume, when I stopped doing cosplay, I want to do a Blackadder Klingon.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
A little mashup there.
Do an Edmund Blackadder and have a Romulan as my Boldrick. And yes, that would be it. But right now, I'm working on the Strange New World Monster Maroon
Mm.
uniform,
Hmm.
and wow, I would love to make a screen accurate Picard uniform. Thank you. Prime suggestions. Yes, yes.
And do you make all the uniforms yourself?
I used to make all my uniforms, but I discovered that if I go out and buy it from um, China, it's it's cheaper to buy the uniforms because um, a bolt. Well, it will cost me like about $200 to $300
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
for
say
material.
I know the one person who has the screen accurate colored fabric
Hmm. Oh,
made like with the exact material that all the screen used uniforms are made from. Yeah, that ain't cheap per yard.
Oh no,
I
no.
I made a uniform, a next gen two-piece wool uniform. It was screen accurate, the right color. It was
Uh-huh.
the beret color. I was out at Ren Fair, and I was with the sun. I was
Oh,
wearing fuchsia.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. So
But
that's
if
also
brutal.
anybody,
wool,
yeah,
wool,
yeah.
and
Wool.
heat.
Yeah.
Hey, the way it falls on the body, you know.
Sometimes style takes precedent. I get it.
Well,
Yes,
it's the same
yes,
as
yes.
like I even with the polyester, I have a few that were made out of polyester, and I can't even
Mm,
take the heat of the polyester. Like
no.
when I was in high school, I made Uhura's outfit,
Hmm.
and I ended up going with a thin flannel blend,
Yeah.
like a lightweight cotton flannel blend. And I was like, look, it's the right color. That's all I care about. I can wear
Yeah.
this if it's cold, but I can also wear it if it's hot and not
Hmm.
itch and not sweat. And that was in Houston, where,
Wow.
we have the twice as much as humidity as Atlanta. Uh,
Hmm.
and every costume I've made since then when I'm doing Trek, it's like I care about the color.
Yes.
Right.
I more than I care about having the right fabric. I don't want to have sweat circles. I
Hmm.
want to be able to wear it for longer than an hour. And even like this, this
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
this is made by Elhofer Designs, and it's knit. It's like it's a
Yeah.
sweater knit, but it's lightweight and it's cotton. So I can wear that in Texas.
Talking about
That's kind of
colors,
important.
um, I was at Gale K Fabric, and that's a great little fabric shop here in Atlanta. And I'm just walking through because I needed some buttons for a vest, and I saw the right mustard fabric for support and engineering uniforms. And I was like, "Do I need? I don't need to buy it. I'm not making that uniform." So I walked out with 10 yards, and I'm like,
Yeah, but
one day,
there's no guarantee it would be there when you were
I
ready
know,
to make it.
I know, I know, I
Yeah.
know. The one year when I stepped down from the con suite, and I was over in signage. I was wearing the mustard uniform. So I got out of the command uniform and I put the mustard uniform on. And it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. But at one point, I was making all my uniforms. But if you see me wearing a TNG or Voyager style uniform, those are the ones I make.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Is it
And
always? Do you always stick with the humanoid characters, or have you dabbled in any sort of makeup or
no,
Klingon
no,
outfit or
no, no.
anything like that?
No, I'm not going to. No, no, I'm not putting anything on my face. No. No, no spoons on my forehead. No, no,
Hey, but Bajorans is one of the easiest prosthetics you've put on. As somebody who's done Bajorans,
Yeah, I'm not going to put a French fry on my nose. Speaking of, this is something I'm going to show you guys what I'm working on for DragonCon this year.
Oh boy,
Let me whip this out.
a preview. Oh wow.
okay, so describe for our audio only
Radio
listeners.
It's a Bajoran orb box, and
Yes.
this is the orb of spam. So when I open it, it's going to have a brick of spam inside.
We're going back to the spam.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
Lord.
hmm So I'm going to have to wire it for light and sound.
Wow.
This is a prototype one, and it's working out just right. I think I got the.
Oops.
Hey, gravity! And look,
Audio listeners, you need to go
Yeah.
find the video of this.
So yeah, he's right when he said it's working out just right. The front panel flew off of it.
He did say it's a
Yeah,
prototype.
prototype. Okay, I'm going to put
this
it
is
back.
first gen. This is first gen.
So did you
Yep.
3D? Is that 3D
3D
printed?
printed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks gorgeous.
Thank you. And
Very nice.
once I get all the bugs, knocked out, I'll take it to the shop where I work at and have the guys put a nice thick coat of paint on it.
Nice.
That's why the paint always looks so good. You get to
Mhm.
take it to your place of work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, what are you making? When I was asking what you were making things on, I was always like, why is the paint so crisp? What?
Yep.
Because it's professionally done.
That'll do it,
That's
yeah.
it, yeah.
Sometimes I take it out in my backyard. I light up a bunch of tiki torches to kill all the bugs.
hmm
Make sure it's the hottest day, and then paint it.
Mm.
And just leave it out overnight so it gets nice and baked in.
Mm.
It's like baking a cake. You don't look at it, you don't think about it. You come back much later, and it's perfect.
Okay. New painter's tip for me.
So
Absolutely.
for our viewers, listeners out there who maybe this is their first year attending Dragon Con, maybe they've only gone a few years, or maybe they've been going for a while but just never ventured down to whichever location Trek Track would have been in the years they were attending, what would you say to them to entice them to come down and try out some of the Trek Track offerings?
Well, we're not the Brit track. So,
Shots fired!
Muskets fired. Muskets fired.
yes. We don't have silly accents, and we walk properly, and
But you don't sit in chairs properly. I mean,
Oh, that's right. Like this. Yeah. I find myself at work, at meetings. I'm doing the Riker, and I'm like straddling my chair. But when I walk into a room with my boss, I would do the Riker and swing my leg over a chair.
Yeah. When I was younger watching Next Generation, I thought Riker's moves were pretty unique. As I get older, I understand where they're coming from completely.
Yeah. Address the chair. Hello, chair.
So, especially if you're a Trek fan, right? I mean, if you are a Trek fan of any form of Trek, it doesn't matter if it's old school or if it's the newer stuff or the movies or anything related to Star Trek, you're going to find something at the Trek Track for you.
Right.
We are a Star Trek. We are a Star Trek buffet.
Right.
We have all of Trek, and if you don't see it, we'll get it for you.
Right, and you not only like we mentioned it a bit earlier, but you do panel discussions on shows, on some episodes. I know in the past, haven't you done like you've argued with the worst episode?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I forgot the name of the panel. Somebody was going to bring it up, but yes, there is. They rank the worst episodes, and then they give it a award for it. Yeah, I'm usually sleeping at that time.
Yeah, but so there's those type of discussions and debates types of panels. Then of course you have the competitive things like the Riker Games and the Away Team Scavenger Hunt. But there's also programming in the evening. Like there's 2 nights of Klingon Karaoke.
Klingon Karaoke, yes, and that's fun. I try to shy away from it because I don't like Klingon opera, and it's not Klingon opera. and it's just people doing karaoke. You will get a Klingon once in a while, and maybe somebody from the Brit track might come in and start doing Vogon poetry, but we will, push them aside.
Shut that down.
Yeah.
Not having it. Not having it.
They have their own spot on the schedule for Vogon across
do.
the hall.
That's true.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nobody needs more than 1 hour of that.
I'm thinking about competing in that over at the Brit track.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the silly walks?
No, I have too much dignity for that. But I am working on a silly walk sign for them.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So
I'm sure it will be a very heartfelt special sign.
Oh yes, the legs might even move. We are doing something special this year because we lost Peter David this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're doing a memorial for him.
Nice.
Same bat time at the last thing during the con. It's the last panel.
Mm-hmm.
And normally he would be doing the closing for us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's passed, we're gonna have a nice little memorial for him this year. And
so that would be Monday.
Monday,
con?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday con. Mm-hmm. And the neat thing about our track is once a panel is done, you can still talk to the volunteers, and we'll still have like little debates and still talking about the episodes and stuff. And we'll go into the hallway, and it's really neat because we some people that I've talked to actually the following year would actually volunteer and be part of us.
Nice.
Speaking of volunteers, we did have somebody ask in the comments, do you know if Trek Track still needs volunteers for this year?
Not at the present time, but if we go to war with the Brit Track, we might lose a couple of people. So, so we might have to Shanghai a couple of people to help us our little ongoing war. So
if people are interested in being panelists, participating in panels, or getting involved in the programming, do you know where they need to go to?
Direct all your queries to trektrack@dragoncon.org. Oh, here we go.
No, this is your Facebook group. Yeah, there is also a Trek Track Facebook group.
Yeah. And the person you want to talk to is Leo. He does programming, and he's the second in the Trek Track. And Garrett Wang is number one.
Number one.
No, he's not really number one. He
really did get a promotion.
After all these years.
Finally.
Forever ensign.
Still one of my favorite episodes of Lower Decks. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before we get out of here, is there anything else? I know because you said you had some notes. Is there anything we haven't touched on? You wanted to make sure that people know about Trek Track?
Yes. The Trek Track, the Riker Games is on Sunday, along with the pageant, which is the Miss Universe pageant. So I'm not sure. Well, I think you can still sign up for that. And Saturday is the scavenger hunt. And
do people still meet at the Cortland Pool for that?
I believe
or they do the results at the. I know one part of it is at the Cortland Pool.
Yeah. I try to hide. Oh, here we go.
No, yeah. We're just shouting out the Subspace Rhapsody show again.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to sign up to be a security officer for Trek Track and our holy war against the Brit Track, find me, and we will sign you up, and we will take that castle.
Oh, here's a little shout out for Garrett. Heather just commented she went to a con last weekend. Garrett was a guest. She got in the elevator and he was talking to another guest about DragonCon, and she had to join in too.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Good
So,
things. And she added good things, of course. So,
Good things.
Of
Yes.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
which convention was it?
Heather, which
there
convention
were
were
a
you
few
at?
cons last weekend, but I'm not sure what Garrett was
Yeah,
at.
several.
Well, I know
Yeah.
Comic Palooza was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. We'll give her a chance to answer.
Absolutely.
Just before we get out of here, while we're waiting for that answer, Stan is commenting. It's a lot of info to throw on the screen. So we just want to bring up, if you're still looking for rooms and willing to pay a little bit higher costs, Marriott Marquis has opened full rate rooms at rack rate. They start at $500 a night plus taxes and fees. Payment in full due at the time of booking. And I do know plenty of people who do that. The Hilton also has full rate rooms open. You have to search for 5 or 6 nights with a Wednesday arrival day. Okay, here we go.
Redefined
Heather
nights.
said she was at SoonerCon in Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. Shout out to the Sooners. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Hey,
very
Joe, quick
cool,
question.
Joe.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. I am going to ask the masses. If you've seen the artwork that I have done at the show, if there's a certain piece that you want me to make, or a certain area of Trek, a certain type of Trek, or a different show, let me know.
Like,
You know,
make.
Are you talking about commissions?
Yeah, I was gonna say commissions.
no,
for
no, not
display.
commission.
Because I was about to say
for
you are gonna
No,
be
no commission.
inundated.
No,
yeah. Yeah,
No
that is a
commission.
can of worms.
Yeah,
no
right.
commission. Because I'm running out of ideas. Okay,
So
so
gotcha.
display pieces for
For
the track
display
room.
purposes. Right.
Got
Okay.
it.
right,
Okay.
yes. But I am thinking about bringing back Tuvix, the Tuvix Memorial.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, and
Oh,
hopefully
and
next year.
people have also asked if there will be tribbles.
Yep.
No, because you have no.
What if you bring the tribbles to the Brit track room?
Yes. Well,
Don't start no tribble, won't be no tribble.
That's a shirt.
we'll
That's a shirt.
we might feed them some pistachios and just wrap them up in the room.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for your, over 2 decades of service in the con suite and all that you do for the Trek Track and all that you do for DragonCon. I'm not surprised that you've been there since day one. And so it's been an amazing journey. Look forward to seeing you there again, sir.
I look forward to my yearly hugs.
Oh,
I'm gonna have ribbons for you.
I always
like
have
little
ribbons for you. So
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And we got
makes
the
me happy.
information. We got the information there for how people can find out more about the Trek Track.
and
what's
it will
going on
be
there.
it will be in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
okay. I'll see you guys
All
on
Oh wait,
Wednesday of the con.
don't jump out yet.
We are,
Oh.
we are drawing a close to this episode of the 2025 DragonCon Report. Again, thank you, Joe, for all your time with us. Big shout out to our station crew. Thank you, Channing.
hey, always happy to be here. Have fun with the crew. You can find me on Blue Sky if you want to follow me. I am coming down from a major G.I. Joe high. Shout out to Joe Fest in Augusta.
Ooh.
My wallet will need some time to recover, but it was worth it. Also, be sure to check out my group, Black Geeks of DragonCon. We are not a protest, we're a party, and we're just highlighting some of the diversity at DragonCon.
Awesome. Awesome. And thank you, of course, Jen, for working your magic on both sides of the webcam.
Indeed. And yeah, just to point out, because I've had people message before saying it looks like I'm not interested in what's happening on the screen because I keep looking in every direction, but right directly. Yeah, I'm the one running the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that
Yes.
should have been apparent. That should have been apparent after the last time when she wasn't here.
Yeah, so
Correct.
I'm posting up our banners and making sure the
Yes.
right links, and I'm reading through the comments, and
Yes.
yeah, I am always interested.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go back like 2 episodes if you want to see what the show is like when Jen's not here. And
Ooh.
Well, it was ugly.
Yeah. But I am also on Blue Sky. You can see my little link there at the bottom of the screen. I am a little bit odd on Instagram. I have done something new that I haven't done in a while, and usually I only open it up, my Instagram during con season, but I've actually kept it open for the whole year since last year. And people have behaved themselves. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it open since we're about to be at the next con. So, follow me there, but behave. And you can also find me at the Dragon Con Parties, Meetups, and More group that I started and run with my friends. We have a Discord as well. And don't forget to check out the ESO Patreon, where we'll be hopefully not butchering guest names this month and every month.
That's kind of our thing, though, Jen. That's kind of,
we don't do it on purpose. We don't do it on purpose.
It just comes naturally to us.
And I don't on purpose correct Mike and Channing's pronunciation, but it happens.
And we thank you for it. We try to cover all we can with these shows, so to keep up with the latest news, please check out the official Dragon Con website. All the tracks have social media outlets. Just get involved. Get involved now, because now everybody's looking for ideas for programming. They're getting panels together. So look at all the social medias. And we are a proud member of the ESO Network. On the ESOnetwork.com page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag, including a very cool design for the Dragon Con Report podcast. And whether you are watching or listening to us, please help support our show with a like, subscribe, and a share. It doesn't cost you anything, and we really, really do appreciate it. If you would like to leave us direct feedback, please feel free to email us at feedback@dragonconreport.com. You can also reach out to us via Facebook and Instagram. Thanks to everyone for joining us. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and it has always been my pleasure. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all at the con.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.